An accident. Okay, fine. Okay, this is Robot Rumble 2. It's a combat robot game. Recognize combat robotics from stuff like BattleBots and Robot Wars. I used to have the Robot Wars game. It came on like disc for Windows XP, I think. And let me say, that was terrible. I also had Robot Arena 3, and that was interesting. It wasn't dreadful, but it certainly, from the little I've played of this, it doesn't compare to how good this game genuinely is. It's fantastic. So I'm going to try and... I downloaded a load of robots from BattleBots, but I don't know whether or not I would actually have the rights to use those in a stream. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new robot from scratch. Well, when I say from scratch, I'm going to completely rip it off from Robot Wars, which is what I've done with my past ones I've done. So, I mean, I feel like a good classic design is something kind of like Panic Attack. So that's what I'm going to go with. The little... Just make those layers the same. Panic Attack was actually quite a small robot, wasn't it, in terms of height? So we'll try and make it a little bit teeny tiny. Let's go for 0.15, see if that looks more reasonable. Don't want to go too small, otherwise the motors won't fit in. I don't really know what I'm doing. I should clarify that. Like, I'm not used to this game. I'm also having problems moving around the camera because my middle mouse button doesn't work, and that is the main thing for this. So I've had to rebind another button on my mouse to have the same effect as the middle mouse button, which is kind of ridiculous. Okay, I feel like a good start is probably the motors. Something I learned last time is you want to turn mirror on to make your life easier. Probably, let's see. Try and do it a little bit differently from how I've done before. Obviously going to go for a heavyweight because I feel like that's just standard, isn't it? So, how big is this? Yeah, that looks pretty decent. So we'll... It's not the plane I was expecting to mirror in, but... Is that the plane I was expecting to mirror in? Yes, it is. Okay. So we will now rotate that. That is not quite what I was expecting to happen yet. There we go. Alright, move this. Cross. Probably want some kind of gearing on that, so pop it there for now. We'll attach our transmissions to that. Kind of works interestingly. You pop it down like that and then you move it and it moves the half that you are. I'm not sure I can explain what I mean there, but you just saw it happen, so it's not too complicated. That back in there, and for now we won't do any further gearing. We'll just put the wheels on. Gotta pick some wheels. I haven't done any with rims and tires yet, so maybe I'll go for that. I want something kind of thicker if I can. I guess you can, yeah, I suppose you can put the wheels down and maybe modify their size from there. So if I put down, we can clearly see that these are a bit too small anyway. Scale, make these wider. Yes, we can. Nice. Okay, check the scale on that so that we actually know. So let's just set it to 2. That way, when we pop the tires on, we know what we're doing with that too. What's with this? Okay, take those again. Scale, set that to 2. Is that going to be right? Certainly looks right. But from here, we can move the whole thing inwards. And we don't want the wheels sticking out the top. That would make it vertible. It's not what I'm going for with this robot, so that's not what I'll do. So that's the main drive. We can make it 4-wheel drive. I don't know if I will. Or if instead... can you add steering? Is that a thing? Actually, I haven't checked that either. You probably... I don't know if you... I've literally no idea. Genuinely no clue if you can add steering on these things. Perhaps you can? Right. Go to materials. Can't see the wheels, so I guess that's why we can't select them to change color. Like that. Click materials, will that do it? Yeah, okay, we can't do that. That's fine. Don't much mind that. Or you could always take them out the body, change them, and then put them back in, but it doesn't seem like it'll matter that much. So, what next? Well, we definitely need batteries. What do we know about these? 120 volts maximum, 300 amps peak. So if we go to power, not power, it's in electronics. We need something that can do 300 amps. And just drag around here. Okay. So this can only do 22 volts, so that's actually probably not good enough. So delete those, yep. Yep. Right. This is 75/300. So that's 75 volts, 300 amps. Maybe that'll do, and we'll get in the batteries. So I'm just gonna have some coffee here. Let's see here. Batteries. We want it to add up to 75 volts. So that's what? 37, 2 times the 37 ones. That'll probably do it. Can we get any better than that? Because that'd give us 88.8. I don't know how this feels about overvolting, but that's probably not great. We could, I suppose, put in a 40 and a 37. That'd be 77. That'd be a little bit higher. I think I'm just going to stick with 2. These. I'm actually going to like that, and I'm going to add a need one of those so we can turn off the mirror here. Put to controls and wire this all up. It's quite a fun part of this, is that you get to sort of choose how this all works. The only issue is I really should have done the left and right hand side separately, because I have no idea which motor is left and which motor is right, but that's fine. Okay, what we'll do is we'll connect these batteries. Logically, of course, unless you were driving a lot more with one side, you wouldn't need to put these into the hub and out of the hub, but that's just how I'm doing it. So this is the majority of our drive system going into place here. Okay. And why am I confusing myself? Okay, right. So now what we need is the RC receiver. So if we call that channel 1 and that channel 2. And we say that one is left motor and that one is the right motor, what we can do now is go ahead for the test and see if we got those the right way around. Doesn't seem like we have. No, doesn't seem like we have. So what we'll do is just swap those around. I suppose I could have swapped them around in the thing, but yeah, okay, that's the right way around then. That's what we wanted. So just to kind of give us an idea of our weight here, we want to set the material. Okay, so that would be... I mean, Hardox is pretty popular, isn't it? That gives us 66 kilograms. We can work on that later, but that gives us a rough idea of how much we're working with. Right. I was aiming for kind of panic attack. This is looking more tornado at the moment, but I'm sure we can work on that here. That's going to be, yeah, that's going to be a tiny little servo, isn't it? Add another brushless motor and try and make that into some kind of a servo. Be interesting, that's for sure. I don't think there's any kind of linear actuator in this. I'm just going to make this a little bit tricky. Could do gas for some lifting forks, but let's be a little bit quicker and a little bit more sort of flippery than we're looking for here. So I think we're going to have to do something with motors. Yeah, I think we might as well stick with this relatively large motor we got going on here. Just trying to work out how we'll set it to go up and down. I think it's going to be a case of fully up or fully down. Okay, so if we say chain transmission, just because that's different from what we had before, so why not? We might as well actually pop this basically central, if we can just kind of line it up by eye. Can then do is add a sort of shaft to this section with through the shape section. Then we kind of adjust that to be in the middle. And scale it down. I think we want to make it longer, but we don't want to make it... we definitely don't want to make it any thicker, so we'll make it narrower instead. 0.5, 0.5. Bit like that. That works. Probably want to turn off snap. Try and get that more central. Is that good enough? That's good enough, right? Okay. Cool, now we need to add our sort of forks to it. I'll be kind of lazy about this. Just put 2 large wedges. Let's see here. Scale it out. Okay, thank God I scaled it, because that showed just how badly off I was with the angle there. Back to scale, put that down a bit. Is that probably a bit long? Yeah. Am I that bothered? Probably not. It'd be a case of rotating this to be in the same position as the other one, and I'm gonna make a real hash of this, I think. There we are. They're similar. They look pretty similar. Okay. Enable limits. Okay. That out of steel, make that out of steel. Oh, and we need to control it in some manner. It's going to require another one of these big ESCs. Unless actually we don't need an ESC for that, do we? We probably need the solenoid control. And then we should probably consider adding separate batteries for this. For now, we'll just do one 48 volt. Okay. Channel 3, I think we set to single toggle? Double toggle. Okay. It's not quite worked in the manner I was expecting it to. So far as it hasn't worked. Try moving this all the way out of the body just to see what. Interesting. Okay, so now nothing seems to be working. I suspect the reason that it's not actually moving is because the gearing's really bad. See what would help with that. Okay, so that is not able to power this at all. Yeah, and that makes sense because it's a brushless motor, so it wouldn't be able to, would it? Right, alright. So we'll have to get the that big ESC in there. Right, so this is the weapon system on the right hand side here. This is going to make this very complicated. Okay, nope, that's working. Now, if only we could steer. Alright, let's try 2 to 1 reduction. See if that helps. I think part of this will just be because it's rubbing on the ground. Okay, so we knew that we were going to have issues lifting things, and we knew that was going to be because there's no reduction on this, and there should be a huge reduction. So if we add the 100 kilogram crate and try this again. Alright. We may potentially need more power, more battery. 48, what? Let's get 75. What do we need there? Almost 30. Let's try with the 25 then. Just pause, add that in there. Only gonna let us have, yeah, okay, it's only gonna let us have the same batteries in series. That's annoying, but not bad practice. Okay. So I think we established that so the 37 is the closest we're going to get here. Takes us to 74, so yeah, that's pretty close to 75 volts. Okay, here we go. Okay, doesn't seem to be having such a hard time doing that now. Alright, so now we kind of got that out of the way. I think we need to add some extra wheels. Move these to be more central. Alright, motion. In motion? No, I think it's in extras. What would it be? Free axle. Sorry, delete that. Yep. We want to turn mirror back on, then we want to put the free axle in. Okay. We want to go back to our wheels. We want to get those wheels on for consistency. It's going to feel like a right idiot when this robot is absolutely terrible, but still. I don't remember what that was. What was that? Does it? That even shows you. Just call it anxiety attack. That way you know it's not a rip-off. Okay. Tires. Oh yeah, they were mid-treaded, weren't they? How we attached them? It doesn't feel like how they were. I don't even know what happened there. Managed to lose them. Oh yeah, yep, there we are. Yep, that wasn't scaled. That was that wasn't scale I was adjusting there. Okay, scale 2. There we go. Once again, we'll just try and change that color so that it looks a bit better. Not sure what happened there. The free axle just angry because it's not connected to anything? Is that what's happening here? We're putting them on the outside and seeing what happens. Oh, the wheels just don't do anything. Huh, interesting. Yeah, they're just not interacting with the floor at all. We put them. Okay, so it seems like things on free axles are quite happy to touch the floor, but they're not. Okay, right. Guess we'll just go for the fairly standard thing of putting some ball casters on the bottom. We will untoggle chassis. There we go. That should look a little bit better. More motion, yeah, feels that way. Okay. Looks like we've really got this down. Right. Next, I think we need a big self-rotary thing on the top, don't we? Let's see, what I'll do is I will literally just do this, add all things attached to it. Oh, turn off mirror. actually also untoggle the chassis. Delete that component, delete that component. Move that way. Retoggle the chassis. Now what we'll do is we'll go over to where is it? Is it extras? Yeah, extras. Shapes. Cube. Did not mean to move it. Meant to scale it. Put it down, make it nice and flat. Now I want to move it. Okay, I'm going to scale it back a little bit because it's obviously just a little bit too long. Back again. That's not the part I meant to move. That's going to cause me some issues there. Okay. So where is this extra? Can't find the extra motor. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I think we're going to make that out of polycarbonate to save some weight. Okay, right. I'd love to hide that, but that'd probably be a little bit silly. Oh, horrendous rip-off robot is nearly done. This is so bad. This is such a rip-off. Right, okay. Let's go to electronics. We need another speed controller. I might add another battery wiring splitter thing so that we can use the same one as for those front lifting forks. I think that makes a level of sense. Yeah, probably what I'll do. Pop that in there. Right, okay. So the controls bit, which is a lot of the effort in this game goes to, or at least for me. Maybe that's just a me issue. Right, so if we set this into the battery hub, that way we can then use the same batteries for both things. Right, okay, here we go, and we'll set this also to be a toggle. Over to channel 4. Single toggle, and we don't want that to be the same control as the forks. Okay, is that going to work? Wow, that's fast. So if we flip the robot over... that's surprisingly tricky to do. What? Right, there we go. No, it seems that it does not have the ability to lift itself back up. Means that we are almost certainly not getting enough torque, so we want to increase that ratio even more. Yeah, it looks a bit silly, but so maybe just because that's made out of polycarbonate, if we change that material to something more like, I don't know, aluminium, that gonna work better? Because I've noticed there's a real correlation between what material you use. Yeah. Flip. No, it's not happy about that. That's a shame. I've had trouble with them making self-righting mechanisms in this. That may just be me, but I definitely feel like it's something I've been struggling with. Still, we're making mincemeat out of the 100 kilogram crates. We got that going for us. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be providing that level of torque that you kind of expect it to. Wonder what that is all about. I mean, part of it's obviously because of just the size of the lever there. I do wish linear actuators were in this, because that would be huge. What I could do, I suppose, is add multiple gearboxes. I go through several gearboxes at a time. Maybe that's what I'll do for a sort of iteration too, but before that, I'm going to add something that came to the robot that I am totally ripping off in the later seasons, and that was a giant hinge. Okay, not that kind of hinge. We want to untoggle the chassis here, and we definitely want to turn mirror back on. It was these sort of hinged. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. Sort of hinged sections. Okay, it looks like you can't scale the hinge, so I'll have to get a wider hinge. That's fine. On both sides, yep. And then it was just a big flat bit on top of that. And that flat bit would go down, it would touch the floor, meaning nothing could get underneath the robot, which was, I always thought, very clever. Well, that was one of the cleverest things they did, so that's what I'm going for right now. Shapes, cube. And we'll scale that down to be nice and flat. And we'll just stretch that out. Not sure what they were made out of on the actual robots, but I think they should be even thinner than that. But certainly if I was going to be doing something like this, I would make it out of polycarbonate. So that's what I will make it out of here. I know that it doesn't look as good, but that's just what I would make out of. And there was one at the back too, and so I think I will just go ahead and do that. Just make sure we're not going over the weight limit here. Yeah, 89 kilograms. That's fine. That gives us plenty of room. Don't need mirror on anymore. Okay, we'll just move that to be, again, roughly the center. I mean, you can probably spend ages lining everything up and making it nice and central. I'm not about to put that much effort in. Because I really can't be bothered. But yeah, so we need to do functionally the same thing. We want to grab a cube out on top, scale it down pretty heavily, and make it much wider. I like that it scales in both directions. I don't know, maybe you do have the option to turn it off. There's a lot of options in this game. Ridiculously large amount of options in this game. It is really good. I don't know, do those look like they're going to touch the ground while this is going? You can always come back and change it later. Right, let's pop that into the test area. And then confuse myself for a whole moment. Oh no! Hoisted on our own petard, so to speak. Having issues with the skirt getting us caught on the floor. I did worry that might be a thing, but I didn't do anything to combat it, so... Oh, this is a sluggish, difficult to move robot. No getting away from it. I suspect we can probably get more oomph out of these motors. Can we make that even larger? Can we do a 2.5 ratio? Will it let us? Yeah, it will, I think. Okay. Again, we're having a hard time with that rear skid. I think I'm going to have to... Let's try raising it first. Let's see if lifting it up. Yeah, but now it's not really touching the floor. But still, I think for visual appeal, we'll keep it. Right, let's add a 100 kilogram crate and see what happens. Oh, is it going to work? Yeah, just about. You can do bigger motors than this. I am conscious of that fact. I'm also conscious of how much work it would take to put the bigger motor in place of this one. Should we try increasing that further? 3.5 without a test? Should allow us to lift more. It also allow us to lift it sort of quicker because the acceleration difference there. Yeah, okay, I think that's working better. In games like this where the ability to destroy robots with discs doesn't seem to have that much of an effect. Sorry, I've just confused myself again. Right, yeah. Right. I note that spinning discs in games like these tend not to be as effective as they are in real life. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Move. That's one I made before. That is another rip-off robot. There we go. This. Let's again start front hinged flipper. See what happens. Again, I'm conscious that I probably can't use any of the actual robots in the thing. They'll do this in this game. The AI will pin you against the wall for a while. And they won't move until they start getting counted down. Which is, I don't think, something you can actually do. Yeah. Okay. I'll restart that. It's a shame that I'm starting sideways, I think. Oh. Well, that's a good start. That was not what I was expecting, but we'll take it. I think definitely need to work on this self-righting mechanism. It feels like the fact that it doesn't actually work is going to cause issues. I do have some other rip-off robots that I've made that could give it a shot. That one's my favorite to use, so I'll use that one. This one is loosely based off Tornado. Well, not loosely insofar as, like, can you base anything off Tornado? Is it not just such a default design? That's blatantly based off Hypnodisc. And there's blatantly based off Panic Attack. So if we try all of these, see what happens. I don't know if the AI will know how to use those front lifting forks on a Panic Attack based robot, but it seems to have just put itself into a corner there. Yeah, this one based off Firestorm works very well. The rest of my robots tend to be a bit, well, I wouldn't even say hit or miss. They're just miss. The Tornado one, for whatever reason, burns itself out. It works fine if you turn that disc off, if you don't use that disc at all. But if the moment you turn the disc on, the wheels stop working. The Hypnodisc robot has virtually no turning control. It takes a very long time for that disc to warm up. Is this good content? Probably not. Am I enjoying myself? Definitely. I'm having a great time. It's not like Humankind. Come on! What I want to do is get someone out of the arena. Oh, that's the pit. Yeah, the majority of these robots are stuck now. This is definitely the easiest robot to control out of the lot of them. It turns well, hard to flip over. When it is flipped over, it flips itself back just fine. Has these little bits on the back that I think actually Behemoth had. And the little bits on the side that Panic Attack had. Yeah, definitely a combination rip-off, this one, but I think it's worked pretty well. Okay. Should try and design something more original. Is that something people want to see? Oh, new robot. Let's build. Why not build in a triangle? Make this next layer a smaller triangle. Oh yeah, let's just make it a straight line. You can't create intersecting lines. Okay. So this is the start of our design. Huge point on the front. Not sure why I've done that. I'll have to go somewhere with it, but... all-out triangle does not seem like the best use of space. Gotta be honest, I don't know what the difference is in that that little menu there. I have no no clue at all. Right, as I've been doing before, let's just go for those. Let's go right in for these motors and things. These things are ridiculously powerful. But maybe if we just make it so that it slams into stuff. You know what, I should have turned on mirror to make it a bit easier. Right. It's the wrong plane. I think it's because I'm building my robots in the wrong direction. That's why they always spawn sideways. This just feels like the direction I would build it if I had it out on... If I had it out on like a workbench. This feels like the angle I would put it at. Okay, move, lift. Try and maximize this space here. I don't want to be hooking them straight up to the wheels necessarily. Do I? Oh, I could use the gears to drop. I could drop down with the gears. That could be interesting. All right, let's do that. So we'll go for... No. There's a small belt transmission. Oh, I've been missing that this whole time. That's okay. Size a little bit, and we'll make it so on. We'll put our wheels on there. Yeah, that feels pretty reasonable. Can't change the scale of those because they're a stock part, which makes sense. It's however apparent that the wheels are too far forward. What I want to do is I want to select the actual chain drive. Okay, right, I want to move that back. Having them stick out the back, is that an issue? Does that feel like an issue? I don't think that is an issue. Might make them inherently more vulnerable, but... Right, so now if we go into controls, we can see some nice info about these things. So they can take 72 volts, 600 amps. I don't know if there's a... Is there a speed controller for that? I don't think you can... Tiny, see. Can we try and do it with solenoid control? Would that be... God, that does not seem like a good idea. But it's exactly what I'm going to do. So we can actually power these with up to 72 volts. So... Ooh, that's unfortunate. It's going to have to be 233 volts, isn't it? Or it could be 3 these. And non-mirrored one. Just there. Yep, and then we'll need a wiring splitter for that. Probably use the same engine for the motor, so we might as well get a 4-way one of those out. Okay, so this gets us exactly those 72 volts. Not going to have that much control here, because it's basically going to be a toggle. Or a momentary switch, rather. Right, so what we'll do is we'll get those batteries set up. These up top. Way too quickly. No, there isn't. That's fine. These all up here. That there too. Okay. Battery out. Battery. Battery. Oh yeah, and we need a we need an RC receiver too. Okay. Can't help but feel like this is not the best plan, but and it is 100% not the best plan. That was not... Oh, that's because they're not connected to the motors. That won't help. Oh wait, are these brushless? No. Spin motor. Yeah, I just didn't select in the right way. Okay. Whoa. Solenoids can't reverse, can they? Ooh, that's interesting. And these are just the wrong way around, so we'll just flip those back. Ah, and now they need not to be reversed. So confusing. Okay. What? What is going on? Why can I only reverse? Okay. Try reverse direction again. Okay, we're 100% getting all of the power to these, but I have to say I think that's not the best ESC for the situation. This doesn't feel like it's going to be either. Let's turn mirror back on. Yeah, 36 volts max just isn't good enough, is it? You can't combine them, is the issue. So it feels like there is no way to use those as a drive motor, but I've already put them in there. Does the dual motor thing have any advantages other than being able to do two? Oh, see, the dual motor controller actually has two separate channels. I've been avoiding using it. I didn't realize that that was the case. I thought it could just power two motors like a sort of four-wheel drive system. All right. Definite issues with the ESCs here, that's for sure. That only works for brushless, I think. The way we can configure it. No. Ah, so annoying. I feel like there's got to be a way to do this. there a way? Should we try it? I feel like it would technically be one of these. Okay, right. You put that in a battery up? No. You can't put multiple outs to the same input. That's the issue here. Wait, unless... Nope. We want to have multiple outs to the same input. That's the problem I'm facing here. I can't think of a way around this. I think what we're going to have to do is just rock a lower voltage. 36 volts maximum. Let's check there's no way to connect it, because I think these are for... Yeah, brushless, yeah. Done. Okay. Just triple check there's nothing else we can do here. What we'll do is we'll actually use a single dual one. Okay. Right, we want to get rid of these. Which means we probably don't need this either. We're looking for 36 volts. What's the closest to that we can get? Should we just go for 37 and assume it'll work? It's unlikely to completely kill it, is it? This thing's kind of a flipper on its own. Need a little stand at the back to stop it from flipping itself on its arse. Like a little wheelie bar. Okay. That's fine. We'll do it. Should we make this into something? Or make it out of? Makes it very heavy. Test that now, maybe it won't. Okay, it 100% still flips itself. I don't want it to weigh that much yet. I want a weapon of some kind before it's weighing that much. Right, let's get to extras. This sounds surprisingly like Wii Sports music. Okay. Turn on mirror. All the way across, get a wedge side. Whoa, we're meant to be scaling that, not doing that. Okay. And what should we make that out of? Pretty cool. All right. It's a pretty aggressive robot, I think. Very fast. Any control issues. You can just spin around like that. That can be its own weapon. We add that crate in. Do we have the control to just... Yeah, can 100% move that out of the way. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. Right. Feel like when you have a wedge shape like this, an axe is the natural weapon to go for. I think in general axes are pretty terrible. Should we keep with the mirroring? That'd be cool. Have a sort of double-headed axe thing going on. We want to toggle the chassis here, though. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to double it up. Double the damage, right? Surely. Okay. Okay, so they'll only give you axe heads here. So you have to make the shaft yourself, presumably, just using the shapes. Right. I'm going to do it with a cube. Can't help but feel like these should go kind of central. Reasonably narrow. Definitely long. Okay, we should set material for them, make sure we're not going overweight here. Look like it. Right, now we'll go for our swinging axe heads. Okay. Start position. The end position will be... Yeah, there. Okay. So we need... we don't need two of any of this. We just need the one. Add a gas valve. Need the one gas splitter. Then we need the one buffer tank. Make that small. Don't think that'll be a problem. And we can use a gas tank, make it slightly larger. Give us more sort of axability, as it were. At least we'll be able to use the axe more often. Yeah, sure. Axability. So I'm rolling with it. Said it. It was up there in the third dumbest thing, top 3 dumbest things I've ever said. Okay. Is that everything I need for that? I think it is. You should have an exhaust, but the game doesn't seem to require you to have an exhaust, so... Okay. Right. Oh, interesting. You actually do need separate pneumatic control valves. You can't split the gas from the valve. That's not what I meant to add in there. What am I doing? Wasting my own time. Okay, right. Electronics, gas valves, pneumatic control valve. There we are. Yeah, it's not central. With the other one, whatever. Okay. So we're gonna... Oh, seriously? We can't split from the buffer tank either? We can only split. Right, we'll just test this out with one. 3 is a single momentary. Okay. I feel like axes are probably one of the worst combat robot weapons that there are, but... What do I know? Okay, let's try. Let's look at least roughly similar. I'm conscious that most of what I've designed for all of these robots would not physically be possible because I've got so much stuff clipping into each other. Does that matter that much? Probably not. On account of this being a game. Okay. What we want here is for this to be exactly the same control as the other one. So one of them gets stuck in the body, and the other one does not. A lot of getting a lot of swings here. And see how much gas you have left using this thing. How much gas do we have left? None. We are out of gas. Also, it's pretty apparent that these are not even close to long enough. Okay, so now that we've done the majority of this, we can start thinking about how heavy we want the robot to be. Because we seem to be doing pretty well for weight. And we can make this 13 thick, 16 thick aluminium. Or we can make it, what? A bit less than that. 6 mil steel, that seems pretty good. It's like the Robot Wars colors, but I feel like they're making something like this. And we'll call the robot Kiss My Axe. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably already one called that. The similar concept, but it's just a pun. You can't get mad at a pun, right? Okay. I think this one's gone pretty well. Which will do battle. against my own best robot. Front hinged flipper. I've done it again. I built the robot sideways. It starts every battle sideways. Okay. Definitely got more. I feel like I should have a lot more torque than he does. Like, I get across the arena floor so quickly. I've got such massive motors in this thing. But I am being just dominated. I mean, pushed around. I mean, it doesn't help that I don't think damage is really a factor in this. The moment they do something like that, I'm just expend all my CO2 just trying to get out this corner. Feels like that's it for CO2. Yeah, I just keeps that front flipper up. It really doesn't seem to care about my terrible axes. And that's it, they're dead. No more axe. Can you clone a robot? Because I really want to edit this one. Just have a massive spinner on the front. I call it that. And then I go to main menu. Do I now have two separate ones? I suspect not. No. Okay, fine. I guess we'll start again. It's a terrible shape. Yep, I definitely... Okay, do. Okay, I have music turned off, so that's fine. The only setting I noted. Functionally, this looks similar, because it is. But it's actually going to go in the exact opposite direction. So we're going to have this flat bit be the front. And use these same brushless motors that we used on the previous robot. But in a slightly different way. I'm going to lift them up very far from the wheels and use a huge gear ratio. Using the small pulley. Oh, and then select, there we go. Smaller than that, make the ratio just as big as it will go. See, even at this size, that ratio is enormous. But that ratio is not impossible. So next we will get some decent sized wheels on here. Those are not central at all. Okay, let's try this again, but actually get them centered up. A bit more. Yep. Alrighty. Now we need electronics. Don't need to mirror the receiver. Actually, that's a good point. I'm just going to quickly put a ball caster at the back there. Okay. So what do we know about these? They want Okay, yeah, I think we established already that they're oddly beefy. So we'll just put in... do these straight on top of each other. We'll try and get in a nice 75. Do that. We did that before with 2 of those. All right. Oh, yep. And we need a 2-port battery hub, and we only need one of those, I think. Okay. Right, go that there, that there. Battery, channel 1. Channel 1, battery in. Motor, right motor, test. Okay, that I wasn't expecting, I must admit. Wonder if changing the material so there's actually some weight to this would probably help that. Okay, that's fine. For now, we're okay with that because we are moving on to sort of main event. This gigantic motor. Yeah, I'm not sure that wasn't actually better the other way up. I'm gonna put it back the other way up. That was definitely better the other way up. Because then we could have the disc be really, really low down. Means there isn't really a robot that could get away from it. Okay. Put that there. And now we're going to put on a spinning weapon. Bar spinners are fun, so we'll use one of those. Maximum inertia is generated the wider we make it. The thickness has less of an impact. This time, of course, we can actually use a what's it called? Oh god, it has a name. I know what it's called. We can use solenoid control. So that's 200 volts maximum. It's the rating on this 72 volts. So what we'll do is we'll you know what? We won't be stupid. We'll add in our own separate weapons batteries. We're gonna slightly overvolt it just to kind of see what happens. Okay, we need another. No, wait, we don't need a wiring splitter here. What am I talking about? Okay. Right. Make channel 3 single toggle. There we go. Ooh. Okay. Didn't even think about the fact that this thing is going to struggle with that. Struggling for a number of reasons here. Number one, it is struggling because as it sets off it bumps into its own bar, especially if you set off slowly. If you set off quickly, you seem to be fine. Then there's the fact that when it collides with anything, it just flips over immediately. Some of these issues could be negated by raising the bar slightly. Yeah. Which I will do like this. Right, I also want to affect the gear ratio. So we want to increase the speed, so we want like a 1 to 2. Takes a little bit longer to spin up, but much faster in theory. Once it gets going. Ooh, yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now we just need a way to self-right. I've been having so many problems with getting motors to self-right with, which is what I want to use. I'm not sure there's any point in adding CO2 to this robot. But anyway, yeah, I'm not sure there's any point in adding CO2. Just for the sake of a self-writer. But also, it feels pointless to have a robot that's just going to fall over every time it hits something. You know what? I think that's probably going to be a problem for another time. I'm probably gonna stop streaming here. Thank you very much for watching if you were watching. Catch you another time. Bye!